Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It's your girl, Milagros here. This month, during the month of May, we are talking about allowing, and we're talking about allowing the flow of more ease and fun and joy, happiness, and love into our lives. And just kind of acknowledging that we have to be aware when we're blocking, release the block, and just let it flow, right? So we have to just start allowing these things to flow into our lives. And the way we do that is by deciding that we're going to allow it and then being aware and acknowledging when we're blocking so that we can release. Okay, so last week I got a couple of emails about how do I allow, one woman said, how do I allow more ease and flow and fun and happiness in my life when my husband da-da-da-da-da. And she went on to proceed to list all the things that her husband is or isn't doing. And then I had another woman who emailed me and said, how do I allow more happiness into my life when my boss, blah, 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 and then proceeds to list all the reasons why her boss is evil. And it was beep, 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 right? So that's real. And I did get another email from a woman about her teenage son and how he's difficult and how do I allow more fun and ease into my life when my teenage son is difficult. All right, so all of these really I can answer them the same way because, well, let me just answer them. When we are expecting other people to act a certain way and to create a specific condition in order for us to be happy, we are giving away all of our power and all of our capacity. That's right. We are saying, I am no longer responsible for my own personal happiness. You are now other imperfect human, you are now fully responsible for all of my happiness and joy and peace. And unless you act according to this list, I may never have it and it will all be your fault. Now, I'm not making light. Stay with me here for a second. I'm not making light. This is what we do. We create expectations for other people and say, when you act like X, Y, and Z, then and only then will I be happy. It's also like saying, when I find the perfect mate, then I'll be happy. When I get a different job, then I'll be happy. When I get a better car, then I'll be happy. And you know what happens? These people get a better mate, they get a different job, they get a better car, and they're still not happy. They might be happy for a short amount of time, like it's very temporary, because where you are, there you are. So if you're not practiced at looking for the little things to be grateful for and little reasons to operate in love and the little things in your life that make you happy, if you're not practiced at seeing those, you're not going to see those when the big things come along, meaning the spouse or the car or the better job. Because if you can't be grateful and happy where you are right now, you will not be grateful and happy there. Maybe momentarily, but then after a while, a tiger will show its stripes, right? You can roll a tiger in mud, but eventually it's going to rain and a tiger will show its stripes. So you have to get yourself to a place right now in this moment where you are able to be happy, separate from how other people are or are not acting. Be it your spouse, be it your boss, be it your child. Stay with me, because I'm giving you this from love. If your husband is doing X, Y, and Z, and you have decided that X, Y, and Z equals your unhappiness, you decided that. You did. Nobody else. We're dealing with a completely other human who comes from a completely different background, who wasn't raised the same way you were, who didn't have the same experiences you did, who doesn't have the same filters that you have. None of the things about you two are the same except for the fact that you share love and you may have some commonalities involved. But other than that, you want this person to act specifically the way that you want them to act in order to fulfill your happiness, and that is not sustainable. No other human can bring you eternal happiness. That is your responsibility. That is only your responsibility. And the same thing goes for your boss. Your boss could be all those beep, 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 beep things, but it doesn't change the fact that you still get to decide, what am I going to show up with? How am I bringing this into this job? And if it really is that miserable, shouldn't I be looking for another job? Personal responsibility. When it comes to your children, and this is really hard for a lot of parents to hear, but when it comes to your children, even they should not have to act a certain way in order for you to find happiness. If they see their parents taking personal responsibility for their own happiness, and you are an example of that, and they say, oh, mom knows how to self-care, mom knows how to self-love, mom knows how to hit the pause button when life becomes too much, she backs away from it, and she really lets herself get realigned and reassess, and she finds her center with love, she prays, she meditates, whatever it is she does, but mom does that for herself so that she can be a better mom, then we're teaching them by example how to live their lives. Because children do not do what you say, they do what you do. So in all of these situations, my suggestion is that we all take a breath, decide, I'm going to look at myself. Where am I missing it? Where is my happiness disconnected? Why does my husband have to do X, Y, and Z in order for me to be happy? Can I do X, Y, and Z to be happy? When X, Y, and Z is done, am I really going to be happy though? Or is that just momentary? Is there a disconnect within me? Like, that's the stuff. When we go to work, we say, is it my boss? Is it really? Because I'm going to deal with versions of my boss throughout my entire life. Does then all of those people get to dictate how I feel, how I operate, how I live in my life? Is my child's behavior really going to dictate how I live my life? Or is my child's behavior a reflection of how I have been living my life? Ooh. I'm just going to look over here because, yeah. So here's what I have for you. This is my 3-point takeaway, nuggets, work. Because if we are practiced at giving away our power and our responsibility to other people in hopes that they will then act a certain way so that we can be temporarily happy, we're missing it, okay? So here's what I have for you, because it does take some work to get out of that old training and that old programming. And here's what it is. Step one, that's right, I'm making steps here, okay? Step one. We have to recognize when we are doing that to other people and putting our happiness onto them and saying, now you're responsible for my happiness. We have to recognize that and then release that expectation. Okay, so I say, okay, I notice what I'm doing and I'm putting my ability to be happy on this other human, and it's not sustainable. That's not really their responsibility nor their job. Okay, and when we release other people, we also release ourselves of having to be all things to a person ever, because that's not real either. You can't always be there for someone. You can't always rescue them. You can't always, because it's exhausting and it's not healthy for anybody. When we are constantly doing that for other people, we're taking away from them their ability to find their capacity, their resourcefulness, and their resilience. We're taking away from them their ability to realize that they can get up, shake it off, and move on, right? Okay, so that's one. I acknowledge that I'm doing that right now, and I'm going to go ahead and release the expectation that they are responsible for me. The second part is I'm going to set an intention. What am I intending to bring to this relationship? If I'm with my husband, am I bringing love? Am I bringing joy? Am I bringing fun? Or am I bringing nagging and consistent harboring of negativity? Not healthy, right? What is my intent to bring into this space? Set an intention for yourself. And then you can do that with your child. You can do that with your boss. You can do that with your best friend, with your employees. You can do that with any relationship. You can do that with strangers. And then the third step is, how am I making sure that I'm in a good place to bring the things that I intend to bring? Because you could have the greatest intentions, but if you're not making sure that you're in the right place, it's just going to backfire on you, and then you're going to feel resentful, because you're going to show up and say, look at me, I'm giving love, I'm such an amazing person, I'm giving you love, but the reality is you're not. You're giving this kind of fake version of love, and then the expectation is that they're going to reciprocate love, but love expects nothing in return. And then they're going to reciprocate love by doing the things on your to-do list. And when they don't, now I'm resenting you because I gave you love. Love given away is never resented. It's never, when we give away love, if we give it away from a place that we feel like, I gave you my love and you gave me nothing in return, then that wasn't love, honey. You gave a list of conditions and expectations, and you had a contract attached to that. And that's not what love is, right? So, 1, acknowledge and release. I see what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and release that expectation. 2, what is my intention to bring to work, to my relationship with my child, to my relationship with my spouse, to my relationship? What am I bringing to this space? And then 3, how am I making sure that I'm good and ready? Am I taking care of myself? Am I sleeping well? Am I spending time meditating? Am I doing my yoga or whatever form of exercise you do? Am I going for runs? Am I spending time reading? Am I painting because I love to paint? Or am I dancing every day? Like, am I setting aside time and carving out time to remind myself that I am responsible for my happiness, filling up my cup so that I can give from my overflow? Am I doing that? And then if not, okay, then I have to own that. And then I got to do something about it, right? So again, I want to recap this one more time. 1, acknowledging that you're expecting someone else to act a certain way in order for you to find happiness when it is not their responsibility to do that. It is not sustainable. I want to be clear that there are people who are really great at creating happy environments, and there are ways that you can cultivate a happy environment. Absolutely. But it should not be your expectation that every time you go somewhere, someone else has to create that for you. Happiness is not something you go and find. It's something that's within, that you tap into, right? So that's 1. 2, what am I intending to bring into this relationship? What is my intention? Is my intention to bring creativity? Am I intending to problem solve? Am I intending to love? Am I intending to just bring fun and joy and peace? What is my intention? And then, okay, that's my intention. I really want to do that, but I'm not taking care of myself. So how do I make sure that I'm taking care of myself in a place of self-love and self-worthiness, and I'm doing that for myself first and foremost so I can give from my overflow? Because again, when we can do that, every relationship in our life gets better. Honestly, every relationship in our life gets better. And the people in our lives who can't deal with that, they'll fall off. Like, honest to God, you won't have to worry about them, because it will create a gap between you two, because you're saying, no, I'm not going to tend to your every single need, because I'm not humanly capable of doing that. I have to take care of myself. And if they feel some kind of way about that, that's okay. Let them feel some kind of way about that, and then let them go. Because again, we can't, if we're holding on and that's not love. That's not love. So we have to let them go and say, okay, maybe what we need is space. Yeah, absolutely. And space is not a bad thing unless we decide that it is. So I could go on and on and on about relationships and this, but this is really the thing that I want to give to you, because where you are, there you are. So when you're in a good place and you're in a place of self-love and self-care, you bring that everywhere you go, and then you're constantly giving from your overflow. And then when you're not, you get to take a step back and say, oh, I need to reassess, take care of myself, because I am not going to give you my power. I'm not going to create expectations that you're responsible for my happiness. I'm not going to do that. I've done that, and it's a miserable way to live. And it is, you know it, and it's exhausting. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to own myself. I'm going to own my happiness. I'm going to own my peace, my joy, my love. I'm going to own that stuff for myself. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to give from my overflow. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to get myself ready, and I'm going to come and give from my overflow. And I know what I'm intending to bring to the party, and I'm setting those intentions in advance. I'm taking care of myself. You know, again, this is a great way not just to be a better parent or a better spouse or a better employee or a better employer, a better friend, a better lover, a better everything, right? Is personal ownership of who I am, what I'm doing, and what I'm bringing. So that's what I have for you, because when we live that way, that truly is super sparkly everything. So I hope that this was beneficial. I hope that you are able to get something out of it, and I'm hoping that if you like this, you'll give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and you'll get one of these videos that will help you with personal growth, development, and the spiritual aspects of it every week in your mailbox. So that's all I have. Okay, have a great rest of your week. Have a fantastic, super sparkly weekend, and set your intentions. Take care of yourself, set your intentions, so when you move into every interaction with any other human, it's from a place of love, like really of love. So that's it. Have a great one. I love you. Bye.